Well, good morning, everyone. I thought a lot about the title for this talk, which is the most dangerous advice of our lifetime. And of course, my generation can reflect on that. But a lot of you are still young, so you have another 20 to 30 years to start reflecting like I am today. See, a few years ago, if you learned how to code, you had a job for life. If you were a copywriter, you were highly in demand. And if you were a designer, you probably would have never been replaced. Now, all three of those careers and many more are being outperformed by access to a browser and a credit card. You don't need 10 years of experience. You don't need a degree. All you need is the right prompt. The shift isn't happening. It's already here. We told an entire generation, learn to code and you'll be safe. Now, a teenager with no experience can create production-level software using AI. We said, become a copywriter because, copywriting, you're going to learn writing, that's still safe. Well, now AI can draft books, sales pages, ad copies in seconds. We even said become a designer, a graphic designer. Again, that's creative, right? And that's safe. Well, now, AI can generate websites, logos, full branding systems in less time than you open Photoshop. The skills we thought were permanent, unfortunately, the ones we were told to invest years mastering are being commoditized overnight. Now let me tell you a story that plays out pretty much every century, just using different tools. In the 1700s, we have Sarah the seamstress. I called her Sarah the seamstress. And if you're wondering where I got Sarah from, as a fun fact, I was FaceTiming my youngest baby. She's almost 2 years old. And when I saw her holding that bunny, she just reminded me of Sarah the seamstress. So, anyways, Sarah learned 47 stitching techniques, from French seams to blind hems to embroidery, all learned by hand over years of dedication. Sarah was respected. She was elite. Then the Industrial Revolution happened. Machines replaced hands, and Sarah's skills were no longer rare. Then comes Sarah's daughter. And Sarah's daughter didn't have to learn stitching. Instead, she learned how to operate looms or loom machines, which was faster and more efficient. Then came Sarah's granddaughter, who didn't even have to learn to operate looms or machines. All she had to learn is CAD, computer-aided design, which she would go on a screen, create patterns, send them off to factories, and that's that. Then comes Sarah's great-great-granddaughter, who didn't even have to learn CAD. All she had to learn, or all she had to do, is go to ChatGPT and put this prompt right here. Design a floral summer dress appropriate for work, and it's done. And every industrial and technical revolution does this, ladies and gentlemen. It creates new skills and makes the old ones pretty much worthless. What was once rare becomes default, and what was once a career becomes a button. See, at every stage of history, the value of the system moves up, from our hands to our heads, which is being more strategic, to the interface. And the skill that matters nowadays is not what you do. It's how you think about what needs to be done. The winners aren't the ones that type the fastest, design the prettiest, or code the cleanest. The winners are the ones who can see what problem needs to be solved and design a system to solve this problem. So remember this, execution gets automated. Intention, that's your real edge. But here's where we are today. Copywriters are still learning copywriting, while GPT-5 writes 100 headlines per second. Developers are still memorizing code and syntax, while AI can generate full-stack applications on demand. Designers are still obsessing over layout grids and kerning, while AI can generate entire brand kits from a mood board. We are racing AI at its own game, and we're losing. And it's not because we're not smart, but it's because we're playing the wrong game. The future doesn't reward who's best at using tools. It rather rewards those of you who will ask the best questions. Those who can define problems with clarity. Those who can translate them into solutions, guide machines into outcomes. And remember this, think in systems, not in tasks. And let me show you a simple, clear framework to do that. And it's called CLEAR. You got your clarity to start with. You define the problem and be specific. Then you have your logic. You structure your reasoning step by step. And that's while talking to AI. Your logic, your examples. You teach the machine through scenarios, edge cases, and you feed it examples. Then you have your adaptation. You iterate with feedback. Don't expect perfection in one shot. For example, this entire talk today is generated using AI entirely, but with a lot of iteration going back and forth, no less than 10 to 15 times till I get the results I'm expecting. And that's the R for results, which is you validate your results based on business outcomes, not on effort spent. And this applies everywhere. To a consultant designing a workflow for a client, a salesperson creating follow-up sequences, a teacher using AI to personalize learning plans, or even a founder creating product specs for their MVP. So whether you're prompting a language model or you're leading a team, clear thinking outperforms clever doing. Because here's the thing, tools change, business doesn't. Technology shifts, strategy endures. Tactics expires, and systems scale. And every business, whether it's software, coaching, supplements, or even selling websites, they all follow the same flow, which is your marketing, your sales, your onboarding, your delivery, and your retention. So if you understand the shape of the system, you can adapt to any tool, any industry, any trend. The tool might change and the interface might change, but the system remains. Learn the system and you become timeless, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the reality of where we are. Your value will not be in what you know. It will be in how you think. So stop memorizing tools and start mastering frameworks. Start learning outputs and start learning how to think in systems. Because in the world that's coming, and in many ways already here, AI doesn't need you to do the work. AI needs you to see and know what work matters. And if you do that, you'll never be out of a job again. And let me end with this quote. The future doesn't belong to the most technical. It belongs to the most strategic. Thank you very much.